Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Run and Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Big Mike, and I am joined, as always, by my boy, Sped. What's going on, Sped?
Man, getting over the sickness, but freezing my butt off. It's cold in Pennsylvania. How you doing?
I'm doing well because it's not as cold here in Alabama. We were at a balmy 70 degrees today. Actually had to turn the heat off, so it didn't get too hot. Yeah, not too bad. Great show last week. We had our Royal Rumble draft with all 6 people. So thank all of you guys who joined us. Cinco Squad, Kicking At It 2, and John with Chair Shot Sports. We all heard a little rumor that somebody may be without a co-host. Apparently somebody didn't take their loss too well and decided to take a week off. So we actually have someone from the Kicking At It 2 podcast, Michael, who is without Tori this week. We asked him to join us because since we got rid of his co-host, we could have had to bring him in. What's going on, Michael? How are you doing today?
I am doing great. How are y'all doing?
Doing good, man. Glad you could join us. Sorry we ran your co-host off. Hopefully we find her and get her back for you at least next week.
Yeah.
She saw me and was like, no!
No.
And she was the talent of the show. So, I mean, that's by her standards. I'm not saying that. That's what the streets are saying.
No, seriously, she her daughter and her wife are off doing some fun stuff in San Fran. So
Heck yeah, have fun.
Yeah, day off, you guys.
Yeah, we're joking about hope
to come in. So glad to be.
Yeah, and to be fair, and true behind the scenes, we weren't sure Sped was going to make it because there's some weather issues going up there, like you said, some ice storms and stuff. So there was a chance it would have just been me and Michael. I've been under the weather, so it's good having 2 other people. Sped's been under the weather, so the more people this week, the better. Having some backup in. Plus, obviously, Michael needed the help with Tori on vacation. We hope you're enjoying your vacation, Tori. If you're watching this, it's all jokes. We love you. Hope you're having a great time with your family. Come back safe and enjoy, and then come back and embarrass Michael some more. So
she does.
We will get into our show tonight. Start out as we always do every week with Lady Alpha's comment. Welcome to the Run and Wrestling Podcast, your home for all things wrestling, hate-free and genre-free. Please join the discussion. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Currently, we are at 131 subscribers. We are well on our way to the 200 goal by Wrestlemania. That is what we're trying to hit. So please, if you're seeing this, enjoy what you see. Tell a friend. If you don't like it, tell a friend. Tell them to check us out, see if they like it or not. I mean, not everybody likes the same stuff, as we'll talk about later on in the show.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Jonathan, we appreciate you coming in. Have a great show. We appreciate it. I hope you enjoy it as well. But yeah, big week in wrestling. I know, Michael, you and I kind of talked on Monday or Sunday or Saturday, one of those days. We talked about the Royal Rumble post show. We kind of gave our thoughts on it, but nobody's really heard Sped. So I'm going to give you a second, Sped, to kind of talk about what you thought about the Royal Rumble overall, since you haven't had a chance to speak publicly.
I liked it. I liked every single second of it. I know everybody was complaining about that tag team title match. Stop it. Okay? Those guys put on a show. All right? MCMG, DIY, those 2 put it on. All right? I've always told you guys, respect MCMG, man. Those guys know what they're doing. And then KO versus Cody. Man, that was nuts. All right, time out. Who the hell throws a person, Alabama Slam, through a ladder like that? His neck, you guys see how he folded on his head, right? He looked like, what they call it on Ridiculousness? Lawn chair, where his body folds over his head like that. He lawn chaired,
Mm-hmm.
So,
overall, not been that way.
No, but the fact that
myself, we don't bend like that.
Yeah, I'm with you.
God, when he did that, I looked at my wife. I was like, I hope he's not hurt for real. Like that. That made me hurt. But no, I thought it was all in all great. Like I told you on text, I was kind of happy that I got half of the final 6 in. With Bailey, Roxy, and Nikki Bella. I was happy with that, having those 3 there. But it sucked only having 1 bloody person in the men's Royal Rumble. That crap sucked. Where the hell was Randy and Carrion and Oba?
We'll get to that part. I just wanted you to talk about the Rumble itself. We'll get to what happened in the fantasy draft.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot we didn't do that yet.
We will. We'll throw up a comment from Davey Dots. What's going on, man? I agree. I think we all expected a lot more than we did. And to be fair, the people who thought it was a really good match knew it was a really good match from down the street because you could hear every bump from down the street because the crowd was dead silent the entire match.
Dead.
They could hear the match down the street, so they knew what was going on. But definitely, I think that's a lot of things. We talked about it on the post show. I was talking about how we were disappointed about Nikki Bella coming in third, and that's nothing against Nikki Bella. She's one of the legends, future Hall of Famer. I don't think she's in there yet. But her and her sister are going to be in the Hall of Fame for the period of wrestling they were in, where they changed wrestling. Not them, but the generation. Mm-hmm. But we had all built it up to be, well, it's got to be Becky, or it's got to be AJ Lee, or even it's got to be Jade with everything because Bianca and them are still in the match. And then Nikki Bella comes out and it's like, oh, it's Nikki Bella.
Am I the only one who was excited though? Like, I was actually excited to see Nikki Bella in the ring.
Did you see Did you see the shot of the sphere that they had the special audience for? Yes, you were the only one excited.
I know.
They were going to be cool and show that.
I think people were excited, but it reminded me of like when John Cena came back from that injury during that Royal Rumble. Because everybody was like, yeah, it's John. Oh, wait, shit. No, we hate him. Why?
I remember that. True. Yeah.
Initial, like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Oh, damn, it's him.
Yeah. To me, it's more like Rey Mysterio a few years back when everybody was expecting Daniel Bryan and you get Rey Mysterio instead. And it's like, well, we love Rey Mysterio.
That
so what do we
crickets on that one. Oh, my God.
Yeah, we don't really want to boo Rey because we love Rey, just like we love Nikki, but we're like, but we were expecting so much more.
No, I get what you're saying. I do.
But we will get into the week in wrestling. We will talk some about the Royal Rumble as we go, Mike. I'm not just ignoring you. Obviously, like I said, we got our public takes out, so I wanted him to have a chance. But we will go through like we always do. We're doing it like that right now. So you see all three of us. We have our slideshow, and Sped brought it up. So obviously, we've got to talk about it. We did have a fantasy draft where we all picked teams, us and the three other people. And I don't remember. I know we did the results show on Sunday with me and John. I don't remember who won. There's a slide. That's right. Yeah. I won. Oh, goodness. Which makes me not only the WWE king of the run-in, it also makes me the emperor of the run-in. And for those new to the show who don't know what the emperor of the run-in, it means I hold all available titles for the run-in. The AEW crown, the WWE crown, and the NXT crown, which means I get this cool red trophy that says the Emperor of the Run-In. It's got my name down there. It's mine. You can't take it away. So, all hail Emperor Mike. I'll take all praise. And if you want to kiss the ring, I'm sure we can figure that out. I know everybody's kind of well away, but what were your takeaways from your teams? Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, dude, for real, Cookie. I said it when you won it. Congratulations. You deserve that. But I will be taking that NXT title at Vengeance here soon. And that's what I was thinking. And wait, when's AEW?
I know you started to talk about it. So, and I'll get Mike will go after. Give me an assessment of your team, how they did. Kind of go over who you had and let everybody know kind of what you did as far as.
All right, listen. This is the men's side. All right, I had John Cena. All right, and he lasted to the final two. That's it. That was it. That's the only one that showed up. All right, I picked John Cena, Randy Orton, Karrion Kross, Oba Femi, and who was the last one? He didn't show up either.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. So either way, boom. Actually,
it doesn't matter who you pick.
It doesn't matter. Sped, you stupid Aleister Black. But on the other hand,
which was probably the worst one of all because we all knew he wasn't going to.
I knew he wasn't going to come in anyway. But I thought I had enough freaking with John and Randy at least to do something. But okay. But on the women's side, I had Bayley, Roxy, Zoe, Bella, and Gail Kim. Look, Gail Kim was just a freaking long shot for me. All right, that was the one I was like, you know what? I'm throwing a dart at the wall and just hope to God it lands on someone's name. Okay, and that's what happened. But the women's side did great. But like I told you off air, Roxy and John Cena were the final two on both sides. So I was pretty happy I went down swinging.
Yeah. Michael, what did you think about your team and kind of how it turned out?
Well, I talked about it a little bit when we did the recap. The sped wasn't there for it, but after looking at it, I'm a little more salty now because I thought like I was just swinging for the fences with people that were supposed to be there. And looking at my roster, it's not out of the ordinary that they should have been there because I had the winner Jey Uso on the men's side. I had Omos, who just left Noah.
Yeah,
would have made perfect sense that the reason he left was to come to the Rumble.
That's what I thought.
Joe Hendry, who showed up and showed out against Roman and then got speared out of his boots.
0 points, by the way.
Yeah. Xavier Woods, which how do you not have them
Either
in your
one
Rumble
of them?
right now?
I would like an apology because you gave me crap about giving him the boo-boo picture. He didn't even show up, so I would like an apology. I had the right boo-boo picture.
Oh my god!
For this case, yeah, it was the right picture.
Yeah.
And then Matt Cardona, which that to me was more of the swing because we don't know what's going on with that man. I also had Masha Slamovich, B-Fab, Jordan Grace, who did a great job. I think she was the one that pulled me more for the women's side. And then Jade and Becky, who didn't show up, either one of them. But again, it's like really only two of those were like swinging of they could be there. Hopefully they're there. But like the fact that Jade didn't show up is weird to me.
Yeah, that's weird to me as well.
And see, that's kind of how that's kind of the whole reason I won it is I had a lot of people that like two of mine were in there. I think three of mine were in there over 30 minutes. You know, I had one of them that were in over an hour.
Yep.
I had one on the men's side who was tied for the most eliminations. So, I mean, I had all those bonus points, and that's really, and I had the most consistent overall team because I only had one person who didn't show up.
Yeah.
And that was Ilya Dragunov, which again, he's done with his injury. He should have been there.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. And you put speed in there you get speed to go in there. Again,
I can't, as much as it annoys me, I can't dog them for bringing ISO speed in there because look at the clicks that it got that nobody would ever know, and who tuned in to watch Raw on Monday who wouldn't have normally because they saw ISO speed lose his life.
Well, there's the guy that does the Sonic Wing stuff on Twitter, and that was the first one he did was that because
that crap was hilarious. That crap was funny. Like he almost died.
A couple of people on the show before we go on. Herbie coming in the show from the Herb and Raj podcast, who sent me not necessarily a congratulatory gift, but it did come at the right time. He sent me this brand new KO shirt, who I have displayed here. Kevin Owens, obviously my favorite wrestler. I've talked about it here. Herb is a good friend of mine. He gifted me that, so I appreciate it, Herb. Thank you very much. I love it. So it will be on as many shows as possible. I will find a better way to hang it up just so it's better on there.
Herb, let me come on to talk spring football. Let me talk spring football with you.
Yeah. And as you heard Sped allude to, you can catch Herb on the Herb and Raj podcast Tuesday nights at 8:00. I think Michael was a guest in there in the comments last week. So hopefully you enjoyed the show. Hopefully you'll stick in there. I know they subbed to your channel as well if they didn't already. They said they were going to. So bringing everybody together, man, that's what we do. But we will go through and get this off the screen there so everybody else can quit looking at it. Talking about the week in wrestling. We've talked enough about the Rumble. It is time to be on the road to WrestleMania. As you see on the thumbnail there, we are on the road, on the way. Next up is Elimination Chamber. Started off with Monday Night Raw. And then, of course, you can't start without the winner, Jey Uso, coming out. Maybe the craziest pop I've seen of Jey Uso's, congratulating him on the win. The promo was very emotional. I mean, you could see the close-ups of him crying. And to me, solidified that they made the right choice.
Yeah.
As much as I'm a huge John Cena fan, I think they made the right choice because they're going to get this same reaction in every building going forward at least until WrestleMania. Michael, what'd you think about the promo and Jey Uso being there last night or on Monday night?
So first of all, I agree with you. Absolutely the best choice. Like I know a lot of people have an issue with it and talking about, but who else would you want to do a win? Like, I mean, you got people that have already been down the road. You got people that it's a better story if you do it later. This was the perfect choice. He's hot now. And I think last I heard was the second or coming up on the first merchandise seller that they have.
Yep.
He's getting these massive pop reactions.
Oh, there's been a few months he's been first. He may be
Yeah.
second right now, but he's beaten everybody a few times.
But he has shown that a wrestler can be genuine and be relatable, because that promo itself made him more relatable to me than a lot of people I've seen in a long time. Because it wasn't that he can't talk, is that he didn't know what to say. Like, he's got this massive reaction. He's gotten this opportunity now, and now you're in the middle of the ring and have no idea really what to say.
Yeah.
And so, and then of course the tear in my eye moment, like that just sold that whole promo for me. But to show how hot he is, how many times have you heard a crowd make him restart his music because they weren't done vibing yet?
Yep.
That explains it all right there. I mean, he is the most over person in the company right now by far.
Yeah.
You can talk about Cody being the face. You can talk about Cena being the nostalgia and CM Punk and all that. Jey Uso is the most over person in that company right now. And big up to him. And Sped, I'll let you go. But I mean, just making the point, everybody's complaining about it. But every year when the same people win, they even said it when Charlotte Flair won. Why is it always Charlotte Flair? Why is it always the same three people? Why is it always Roman? Why is it always John? Why is it always this? Well, we gave you somebody different. Yeah. I'm sorry you didn't like this. The person that was different that was picked. Yeah, we gave you somebody different. I mean, we want asking for different people. Person. Yeah, exactly. Quit asking for somebody different, and then when we give you somebody different, we go, but no, not that different person. But Sped, what'd you think about the promo and what happened with him on Monday night?
No, I agree with what Michael said. But
yeah, I know it's going to be confusing for you.
I know I had to say Michael on that one. But what I was going to say is when someone's more over than Cody, when a kid texts you after Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble and goes, "It's about time I get to see my favorite wrestler win the big one," and I was like, "Oh damn!" And that was my son. It's about time. It's what he said. It's about time I get to see my favorite wrestler win the big one. And I was like, yeah, this guy's definitely over more than Cody is, because my son got the Cody Rhodes stuff. He's got the championship, everything, but he wants to yeet. He wants the glasses. He wants the hands. He wants everything like that. He wants everything to say yeet on it. He don't care if it's pink. He wants it to say yeet. So it doesn't matter. You guys are right. This dude's been number one on merch sales for a while now, and the right man won. It's about time he's getting his flowers. He's the first guy to pin Roman in 4 years. He's the first guy to knock Gunther down a notch without actually winning the title. He put Braun Breaker to the limit, and he and everything else. I'm just saying, it's about damn time for him.
So one word answer, then we'll move on to the next topic. Cody or Gunther?
It's Gunther.
It's got to be Michael? Gunther.
Okay. I agree. The story says Gunther, but I've heard some rumors that Cody may be a possibility too. So I figured I'd get you guys' opinions on it.
If they do that, that's because Cody beat down Roman so bad that Roman's never coming back.
You mean Seth beat down Roman so bad?
Yeah. Oh no, I'm saying if they did Cody versus Jey, you're gonna have to beat down Roman really bad.
I don't know if you've got the slide for that. They had that. There's that rumor out there that Roman may not be ready for WrestleMania because of whatever's going on with him. So
yeah,
Seth may have put him out, and that may be the angle they go through WrestleMania there.
That'd be good.
We'll see. All right, next up, the newest transfer over to Monday Night Raw, the phenomenal AJ Styles, who made his return at the Royal Rumble. My main question on this is who's left on SmackDown now? What do you? So, in the main thing, where does AJ Styles fit in, and who is his first feud on Monday Night Raw? Sped?
All right. Well, I did see this one earlier that said, does AJ Styles deserve another world title opportunity, another run with it? And if it's the world heavyweight title, give it to him. Let him have a little run, but not until after Jay's done in SummerSlam or Survivor Series. Let Jay have his little run. But I would say Omos is back. Why don't you run it back with those two in the tag team division?
Okay. Michael, what do you think? What do you think he'll do first?
I think he will piddle around in the middle to high card until John Cena is ready for him, and then I think we get a him and John Cena run. Just
that'd be beautiful.
Kind of do that one more time before John's done.
Okay. I actually think, and as much as I hate to say that AJ Styles could be fodder, I think he is a good opponent for Elimination Chamber for a Braun Breaker to make Braun Breaker look even tougher. I've talked about it a few times. I think Sheamus gets a rematch at WrestleMania where he wins the Intercontinental title finally. Yeah. But I think AJ Styles is a good, hey, we're going to build Braun Breaker up to be even bigger because he's going to beat one of the best of all time in AJ Styles to go on to. It's for Sheamus to put everything on the line. Maybe it's a career versus title match or something at WrestleMania, just to give it some more stakes or something like that. But I think Braun Breaker, he needs to be in the IC title picture. He needs to be in a title picture, period. I don't know that it fits with Gunther, especially if you're going to do Jay there. But I definitely think Braun Breaker is the perfect place for him to go.
I like that.
I do. That'd be a good one.
All right. Next up. Charlotte Flair comes in, just like Jey Uso did earlier, not to necessarily the same pop. Couldn't really finish her promo. She tried to start out as a babyface and then got booed really bad and then said, you know what, screw it. We're going to go back to Charlotte Flair and be Charlotte Flair again. First off, it's, and I want your opinions on this. How crazy is it, the different positions in the crowd excitement for the different Royal Rumble winners in the building? You've got Jey Uso, who we just talked about, crazy over, everybody chanting. Charlotte Flair comes out, and then it's like, yeah, whatever. Why do you think that is, Michael?
I think it's what we talked about of people aren't happy because it's the same person. You know, it's Charlotte Flair. She just came back. Of course, we pushed her to the main event. But you know, we had this little bit of talk on the wrap up, and we got to see how the story plays out. We got to see where it's going to go because I don't think she's here to win the title. I did get a little scared with her and face to face with Rhea because that does kind of lead us back down that road, and I don't want it. But I think that's all it is. But that's the other thing is that, you know, she came in, and I know the mindset probably was, well, she came back from an injury. Of course, she's going to come back as a babyface because we all think of like when Triple H came back, most dastardly heel in the business, but came back from that tear quad, and everybody lost their shit for him.
Oh, yeah.
Surely she's going to come back as a face. Kudos on her for flipping on that wheel as soon as it happened. It's like, all right, these people are not buying it. So let me go back to just being Charlotte Flair.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what I told you weeks ago. I've always thought it was a passing of the torch. Charlotte was going to win to face Tiffany, and it was like a passing of a torch at WrestleMania. I don't think she's winning the title at WrestleMania. I don't, personally. You know, you just put the title on Tiffy. If you're going to take it off of her at WrestleMania for Charlotte, then yes, you're proving everyone right that this was a bad win, you know. But if you do it that way, hey, we're passing the torch. Like I said, Roxy and Bailey, that's the passing right there. If you had Becky here, it was Lyra. You know, Mercedes could have some Jordan, Kalani Jordan. Just throwing it out there. I'm just throwing names out there on that one. You know, but I'm just saying, you know, I feel like this is a passing of the torch. And I did say if she faces Rhea, she's beating Rhea because she, you know, she's the one that puts Rhea in her place. You know?
Okay. So speaking of, we all think she's going to pick Tiffany. Obviously, we've all mentioned that publicly. So later on in the night, we start our elimination chamber because we need to find a new, fresh opponent for Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. Something new, something exciting. And the first person that enters the elimination chamber is Liv Morgan.
Why?
Right call, wrong call, Michael?
I think a little column A, a little column B. And the reason I say that is because I think we're going to get Io Rhea before WrestleMania. Like she may do that as at Elimination Chamber for the title because her screwing up. Like, I'm sorry, that. I messed up. I took your option away. So now here, come face me and we'll do this. And it gives her something to do between now and Elimination Chamber. And we can get it. Liv's a high product name. her being in the Elimination Chamber makes sense.
Yes.
Yep.
I thoroughly don't think she's going to win it, and I
No.
really hope she doesn't win it because we need that to be done. We're done with that rivalry for now.
Yeah, and Sped Lady Alpha said to your comment, she feels like between Jay and John, Jay winning the Rumble was more of a kind of a passing of torch because
Oh yeah, no,
John Cena
yeah.
was that guy for a minute.
For years. Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Until the crowd turned on him. You know, the famous quote, "You can live to sell you're a hero long enough to either die or see yourself become the villain," kind of thing.
Yep.
To the crowd. But yeah, I don't want to see Liv and Rhea again.
Well, would it help you to know that Liv and Raquel might be women's tag team champions soon? Yeah, that I agree with Michael on this one.
As long as it's not Liv and Rhea at WrestleMania, that's all.
Well, I don't want it. Yeah, I don't think anybody wants to Liv and Rhea, man. That right there is just it's wrong. But I do agree with Michael on this one. I think Liv, yes, she's got that star power behind her. So you want to throw, in Elimination Chamber, you want to throw star power in there, And Liv's been in a couple Chambers matches before, right?
She's done well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Io, you're right. Yeah, I would like to see. You've already lost Asuka for a little bit because of injury, and then what was going on with the fans and stuff. And then you lost Kyrie because of injury, and then you lost Dakota again due to injury. Probably time to start saving Io a little bit. Yeah, like just save her body a little bit. Keep her out of that chamber. No, and I think I agree with Stampede on that. I don't think they're going to be anywhere near each other at Mania, and I'm hoping that we get something really good with this one, though. I don't know who she's going to face.
And I'll stop to say, what's up, Stampede? I will put your original comment up where you said hello to me and Dom Mysterio Jr.
Hey, hold on. I'm older than him. I'm senior.
It doesn't matter.
Hold on. Should I cut this off and just go like that?
He's taller than you, so you're junior. It's fine.
That's true. Yeah, he's 6 foot. I'm 5'6". I'm screwed.
There you go. Yeah, no, we all kind of agree. We don't want Liv and Rhea anywhere near the title.
No.
For sure.
For the love of God, no.
All right, next up, you got CM Punk and Sami Zayn vying for the Elimination Chamber as well. CM Punk does qualify. So with that being said, I mean, you've got CM Punk in the Elimination Chamber still with a chance at WrestleMania. Does he win the Elimination Chamber? Sped?
No. God, no. I don't think he does. This is all setting up to be Cena's chamber win. But listen, if the rumors are true and we're going to get Rollins, Reigns, and Punk, that's going to be one hell of a triple threat, right? And I wish, and I know you guys are going to be like, oh, yeah, that would be fantasy booking. But at the same time, I kind of wish Mox was still in the WWE for that for this match right here. Just because the Shield and Punk back in the day were running things, 400 plus days. The Shield were holding it down for CM Punk. I'm not saying for the whole time. I'm just saying for a good bit of it. But I'm just saying, like it would have been nice. This would have been a great story between the four in that ring.
Michael, how do you think he does? How do you think Punk does in the chamber? And obviously, John Cena made his announcement; he's going to be in there automatically.
I don't think he's going to get it. We've got to figure out what this favor is sooner rather than later because it's already starting to get stale of bringing it up. So
they've overplayed it a lot.
Uses that to somehow get him into a main event or to a high profile.
I know it's not like WWE to overplay anything.
No,
they would never do that.
No, anonymous PM.
And I'll be honest, I agree with Stampede. Before you finish your point, I don't want Mox in it. Mox is good where he's at. He's found his footing in his character.
Match.
I know, I got you.
The story and everything. I'm just saying for this match. That's the only reason why I want him in. It's just the story behind it.
He's exactly where he needs to be there.
Oh yeah, no, he's having a great time over there in AEW, which is on TV right now.
Yeah.
Why?
Wait, what? No. Anyway.
My daughter turned it on. That's what happened.
After the match closed the show, the person who we thought maybe unalived, folded in half, makes his appearance. Kevin Owens comes in and package piledriver to Sami Zayn. I guess alluding to a WrestleMania match between those two guys. Do you think that's what we're going with at WrestleMania, Michael?
I think it's a good thought of it. You give him the package pile driver, which has been taking people out. We've been building that finisher up so much. Lay Sammy out for a while, and then have him come back, challenge him at WrestleMania. And then we get a banger, like to do something crazy like we did with the ladder match. Have them have some crazy, like back in the day, ROH thing between the two of them.
Oh
Be a lot
man,
of fun.
I want a Hell in a Cell between those two because that would be crazy.
yeah, between them two, yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be. Oh god damn it.
But yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, definitely. And I think it's a good way because obviously Kevin even sold it really well last night or Monday night.
Oh,
I
yeah.
keep saying last night for some reason. My days are all running together. I apologize, everybody. But it's a good way to write both of them off of TV for about a month or so and let them kind of recover so they can kind of come heavy after Elimination Chamber and be healthy together. Because you don't need a ton of time to build this because it's already been built. It's been building for 20 years.
Yep.
You don't need a ton of time to do promos and everything like you do some of the other stories. You give me a good 3 weeks where we can call back to a lot of, Ring of Honor or, indie stuff and everything like that they've done in the past, NXT, even the betrayal there, that sells itself. It doesn't take a lot to build that. And there's making reference to, yes, the KO shirt. Yeah. Thank you, sir. So let's see. And now, okay, this is a good one. This is a good question from Herb. Can you survive watching WWE and still maintain your entertainment level only watching from PLE to PLE? Michael, I'll start with you.
I think mostly you can, especially with Trip, in the handle now. It's not as much hot shot booking as it used to be. For those that don't know what hot shot is, hey, come check out our TikTok. We do Pro Wrestling for Dummies, where we teach you wrestling terms. But so
That's cool.
It's not just the Crash TV stuff anymore. So we kind of get a story that lasts a few pay-per-views, and then it'll end at some point. And plus, they have the packages, which do wonders of telling you, like, here's the backstory of why we are where we are. So as long as you watch that opener that gives you those packages, you're good.
Do you think you can? You think you could only live in WWE land with only PLE to PLE?
Yeah, because I used to do it once upon a time just to watch pay-per-view to pay-per-view. While I was in the army, there was really no time to watch during the week. So I would just watch pay-per-views month to month. So yeah, I could probably do it again.
Please don't, because we need to do a show week to week.
I know.
The run may die if you do that. Yeah. But I agree. I think you can, especially if you're watching like the pre-show, because that's where a lot of those vignettes and stories get told. They build. That's one of the reasons they have that pre-show. That's why they don't do a lot of matches on the pre-show anymore, because they're building that story for somebody who may be watching it for the first time or somebody who doesn't watch week to week. Yeah. So as long as you're watching that pre-show, then yeah, you could do it you could do it PLE to PLE. You wouldn't catch a lot of the nuances and callbacks that they will do, but you could still see the match and still understand what's going on by seeing that bit of the story. So I definitely think it could happen. Yeah. But I don't recommend it. You should watch at least one show each week and then come watch us and hear us talk about it and put your opinions in the comments. That's what you should do each week.
Just do it. Do it.
They should have had Owens on the upcoming Raw to do the angle with Sammy. I think he may have been shouldn't. So it's selling the beating from the Rumble, maybe. Please clarify, Stampede, because the rest of the comment sounds like he shouldn't have been there, which I kind of agree with. But I like the fact that he sold it while he still did it.
Yeah.
So it's not like he hit him and then stood tall and everything. He was still hurting, but he had to get revenge on his friend who didn't stick up for him like he thought he was going to. So I get that part too.
Oh man.
And he only watched the Royal Rumble because of the show. We appreciate it, man. That's what we're here for. We've said it many a time. If you've never watched wrestling, come join us. We'll try to ease you into it and give you the best advice possible. If you love wrestling, come watch us. If you hate wrestling, come watch us. We'll try to turn it back around. Yeah. You're not the first person who has said that, and we're very appreciative of everybody like that. We have another friend who Autumn, who hadn't watched in a while, actually got a chance to go to SummerSlam and then watched our show at that time and started watching week to week. So now she keeps up with it too. So we really appreciate that. And there you go. Yeah, Owen should have taken this week off. That's what I thought you meant, but I wanted to clarify just to make sure. I was pretty sure that's what you meant. Let's see. It was a great show. It was LA. I'm not sure what that is. I guess maybe he likes LA Knight. Yeah. Next up, we've got next week's Elimination Chamber qualifiers. You've got Rey Mysterio versus Logan Paul, everybody's favorite. And then you've got, again, one of those kind of passing the torch moments. You've got Bayley and Lyra with, trying to get in the Elimination Chamber in the women's. Sped, I'll let you go first. Who do you think wins each of these matches?
Logan Paul and Lyra Valkyria. Because Logan, you know how he is. Everybody wants to watch that dude just jump off the cage and fall face first onto the side. No mat, just right onto the side. All right, don't put your hands out. Hands like this, okay?
And I'm apparently a dumbass. He meant LA as Lady Alpha, not LA Knight. So
put your arms out like this for him. Yeah, like, bam. Yeah, okay, there you go. But no, I see Lyra winning because Bayley's got that stuff going on in NXT right now. And when was the last time Rey Mysterio really qualified or won anything lately? I'm asking. I really don't remember when the last time he won.
Beat Kofi. He beat Kofi Kingston last week, or he beat Woods a couple weeks ago. He's beat both of the New Day.
I'm talking about being on a big PLE, not big PLE.
Oh, you're talking about big match. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
That's what I'm saying. I just don't know. That's why I'm going with Logan. And I don't like these freaking ratings. What is up with that? How's Logan better than Ray?
Who knows? I mean, they've got to put him in there just because he's. Draws more people.
Logan ain't got no kids, so he can't be a deadbeat dad.
That's funny.
I agree with it completely. Logan Paul makes all the sense in the world. He's the golden goose as far as advertisement because they're making a ton of money off that.
Oh, big time.
But plus, people hate him because he's so damn good. So why not put him in there for the heat? And he's going to do some crazy stuff in that chamber. He did in the last one. Did a lot of great spots, and there was that massive RKO spot out of nowhere where he just played it off perfectly. So it makes sense to have him in there. And Rey Mysterio's wasting away in LWO land.
Yeah, I can't stand it.
Bayley's going to get distracted, or is there going to be some shenanigans because of Roxanne? So she'll lose that match, which makes me sad. I'd rather see her in the chamber than Lyra myself.
Yes,
but
yes.
I would too.
Don't get it wrong. I like Lyra. All right, but it's just
it's
Bayley.
Next week, Monday Night Raw, WWE is going to be the most WWE show ever because I think there's going to be interference in both of these matches. I think you get the New Day interfering with Rey Mysterio. They've already built a lot of that up. So Logan Paul wins. I think Roxy will come in, or Cora, since she's got a match with Cora also. One of those will come in and interfere in Bayley's match and cost her. So Lyra will. I wish Bayley would because I agree more with what Stampede said, more than just wanting to see Bayley in the chamber. I want to see Lyra defend her belt.
I would love to see
Lyra hasn't defended it at all. At least, Chelsea Green, I know she's had it longer, but she's had a couple of defenses. They've all been mentioned, but there's at least been multiple.
But it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, at least it's multiple matches against the same person. Lyra hasn't had a chance to defend it, and the Intercontinental title historically is the workhorse title. It's the one you want to see defended more, even more than the U.S. title. You want to see it in those longer, and we talked about it before the title was even done. That's one of the things I picked Lyra instead of Dakota because she can do longer matches. She can do matches every week. You don't have to worry about her getting hurt. Unfortunately, Dakota guy that kind of came to fruition, but now you're just having her do everything else. So hopefully Bayley wins. Not to mention Bayley may be tired because I think she's on every TV show, not just WWE Raw, because she's in the NBA All-Star game now. Or All-Star Celebrity game now. She's doing everything, man. But maybe they do swerve us and put her in the chamber since she's everywhere else. I hope so. All right, that is everything we had for Monday Night Raw. Michael, was there anything else that caught your eye from Raw that we didn't talk about that you can think of, or do you want to save it? I know you've got your 3 count coming up later. I don't know
one of the things is in the 3 count. I do want to say, just if you have to watch anything and you haven't watched Raw, watch the opening, watch the closing. We already talked about how great Jay was in the opening, so I'm going to leave that alone. But that match between Sammy and Punk was absolutely amazing.
Music,
Go and watch that if you haven't watched Raw.
And you can say that about a lot of Raws, especially since the Netflix era. There's 3 things you've got to watch every week. It's the open, the close, and Penta. Those are the 3 segments that you need to watch every week to be the most entertained. The open, the close, and Penta.
Yeah. Yep.
Spad, anything that you didn't put on there on the slideshow, which thank you for doing the slideshow. It looks great. And
Oh, you're good.
anything that you missed that you want to add?
Here's your moment that Big Mike loves. Dom going face to face with Finn. I enjoyed that one when he was like, "You messing up." He's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" And you get up in there, like, "All right, Dom, kick his ass. Do it now." Yeah. So no, I enjoyed that. Dom's character work is getting way better. People are starting to notice the kids actually what I've been saying really good for the last 2 years. Hey, thank you. There it is. But yeah, no, that's that part. I didn't put it in the slides because I figured you were gonna ask, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna say it. We're gonna have a little Speds ODM to ODE to Dom.
So, Stampede, I want to put your comment up, but I want to know what company it's from so I can let the people know where to go. So tell me what company it is, and I'll put both comments up because definitely if you're giving out match suggestions, I would love to do that, but I want to be able to tell them what company it's for. So if you'll put that up there in the comments, I will put both of them up. Nope, there we go. So he says, make sure you go watch those two guys. I'm not going to try to butcher the second guy's name because I'm sick and my voice is already a little messed up.
El Desperado and
Fujita. I can pronounce Fujita. El Desperado and Fujita. And they are in New Japan Pro Wrestling. So if you want to see a match outside the WWE, that is one of the great things about Stampede being on our show every week in the comments is he always gives us stuff outside of the WWE that we can go watch to kind of open our eyes to other wrestling products around the world. So thank you there. Again, that's Desperado and Fujita from New Japan Pro Wrestling from January 4th. Go watch it. And then shoot him a DM. It's David Rober 7034, maybe. I may have those numbers wrong, and put it up there, and I'll remind everybody. Go tell him what you thought about it. He does match ratings for all these things. He spends a lot of time doing a lot of stuff for everybody on Twitter and kind of rating stuff so you know what to go look for. So moving on to SmackDown, and we're going to be completely honest. I've asked over Twitter a couple of times. They have literally 0 matches announced for tomorrow night, so we have 0 clue what's going on. Last week's show, pretty much all they did was lead into the Royal Rumble, so there's not going to be a whole lot of SmackDown. The one big story that we do have is it was announced that Alexa Bliss is apparently going to be part of SmackDown. She will join her Wyatt 6 companions there, or we think it's going to be the Wyatt 6 companions, but I'll kind of ask the same thing I did with AJ, and since I went with Mike first on that one, I'll go with you first, Sped. What does she join this Wyatt 6, or what does Alexa do on SmackDown?
I honestly don't know. I know they were like, we don't want her to join them, but now they're like, oh, let's let her join them. Honestly, can we just let her go back to the 5 foot of Fury? Like a little goddess, mode that she was in. She did like
take her back to Braun,
right?
Yeah.
But she could definitely fit in the mid card. She could fit in the championship. Don't get it twisted. WWE Women's Champion. She can get that. But I think she could elevate the mid card and then get back into anytime they need her back into the WWE Championship picture. So hopefully she gets into the mid card US title match and we can see that title around her. That'd be a nice title around her waist. That'd be beautiful. Another little trophy in her case. That'd be dope.
Yeah. Michael, what do you think she goes after first?
It's weird doing this kind of gig is kind of bad because we see some of the behind the scenes stuff. We see some of the rumor stuff just because we want to stay apprised of what's going on. And so it is kind of hard to tell what she's going to do. To me, the only thing that makes sense is her going with the Wyatts because we got Bo out. So
what happened?
Kind of stepping into that role makes sense. And then he comes back and it starts some issue between them. But I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, I would love for her to go again, and I'm kind of, rinse and repeat kind of thing like I did with AJ Styles. I would love to see her come in, even if it's part of the Wyatt 6. I think with the whole Chelsea Green storyline, where her and Piper are starting to have some cracks, maybe they break up, and then they can kind of go after her kind of the same way they did after Chad Gable, except it's Alexa going after the U.S. title. I think that would be a really good program. No matter who wins, you could even have Chelsea Green kind of eke that out and have new security with somebody else coming in or something like that. You could do a couple of different things that way. But to me, that seems like the best place to put her because obviously, again, we've talked about a ton of movement in the main event scene where I don't know that there's a whole lot of room for her, and it doesn't really necessarily make sense for her to go against Tiffany.
Yes, you're right.
But that mid card scene with Chelsea Green, who can play that heel the same way Chad Gable did, very similar character because Chad Gable's funny too. I think that's the best place for her to go. So
I like it.
And the Wyatt Six has been booked like a game of Boggle. And considering I don't know how to play Boggle, I've heard of the game, but that sounds perfect.
Yeah,
I don't think I could argue. And since there are no qualifying matches that have been announced, but we're pretty sure there are going to be some, that's our next question is give me two people, because obviously we think it's going to be 3 and 3, and John Cena's taken up one of those, so we think it'll be 3 from Raw. Give me a couple of SmackDown people, men and women, who you want to be in the Elimination Chamber. We'll go with Michael first.
Give me LA Knight and Fatu.
Damn,
I
dude.
think those two from SmackDown would make all the sense in the world.
I like that.
Hey, that'd be nice. No, I ain't even gonna lie. That'd be nice.
What about your women? All right, you go ahead with your men, Sped, and then we'll switch it up.
Oh no. Go ahead.
I want to do it. Give me your 2 men, and then we'll do all 4 women together too. So I'll keep it all.
Damian Priest and Andrade. Give me those 2. I would love to see Andrade in this one.
Okay. I'm actually going to split you 2 up and say Damian Priest and Jacob Fatu.
I like that.
I want Fatu in there.
Yes.
I got to have Fatu in there somehow, some way, just because I want to see Fatu on everything. And I think Damian Priest is a good shout. He's new on that side of town, so to speak. So I think that would be a good spot for him to qualify and get in there. But there's a lot of other people that you could put in there, obviously. So Sped, what 2 women do you want to see in the Elimination Chamber from SmackDown?
Man, that one's tough.
That's probably the hard question. Yeah,
that's tough. Because man, I mean, they're going after Rhea, so it's gonna have to be someone. All right, so let's go with. We all know Zelina Vega is gonna be in it somehow. So I'll go with Vega and Alexa Bliss.
All right, Michael.
I gotta go Vega as well. I think it's a good chance of her being in there.
Yeah.
Bianca Belair, just because I think that's the story we're going with.
That's nice. That's a good pick. I was gonna say Nia. But everyone's like, "Oof!" As soon as I said that in my head.
Nia in the chamber.
Exactly. That's what happened in my head as soon as I said it.
So I agree with. Yeah, I agree with a lot of what you're saying, but we were strictly talking about SmackDown, and obviously Raquel is on, and as well as Penta on, both of those other from Stampede and
Zoe Stark. Yo, I would love me some Zoe, and Big Mike knows this. I love me some Zoe Stark. All right, you talk about Zoe Stark in there. I listen. She's in there at all. That's my pick.
So I will say I actually want Michin in there. I think she's done really well with the U.S. title stuff. So I'd like to have her part of that. She can bring some of that hardcore into it. She's put into a few of her matches last year in NXT and in SmackDown. I wouldn't mind. I mean, I get Vega's just come over too, so I can see Zelina. I would, honestly kind of I'd rather have Zoe or something like that. Maybe bring one of those over, or maybe you bring all 3 of the PFC over from Raw, because there's still, obviously, we can make the announcements. The transfer portal may be closed, but we haven't announced who signed with SmackDown yet. So there still could be a surprise. Maybe that's the PFC, and then they join. And one of them, obviously, my favorite is Shayna Baszler, as I've talked about before. I would love to see Shayna Baszler in there.
I feel that.
But if they've got to be somebody on SmackDown right now, shout out to BFAB. BFAB's been doing some good work.
Yes.
Great.
AJ Francis.
She could have that. She could have that Tiffany Stratton kind of deal where she's new, the first chamber she's ever done, kind of come show out, and then springboard off of that. Yep. I don't know that that'll happen, but I think that would be a good shout. So I'm going to say
that'd be beautiful. Yeah, that'd be beautiful. AJ Francis has been telling everyone on Twitter for a while now. Watch BFAB. Watch BFAB. Nobody's listening to him, and look what happened.
Mm-hmm. And Lady Alpha actually meant Sonya. She got mixed up because of the hair. It's okay. Look, a lot of people get the PFC mixed up because there's not a whole lot to distinguish between all of them.
I just think private first class when I hear PFC, though. Yeah.
And this has definitely been true in the past. The draft and the brand split is about as big of a myth as Bigfoot. I do like the twist they've put on it by adding the transfer window. One, for us sports fans, it does bring in some other sports because we have the transfer portal. You've got it over in soccer. We also have it in
Yep.
college football.
Yeah.
So it brings a little bit of that realism to it, but it also gives them a reason.
Yeah.
So they had an opening and a closing. Now, if they start doing it now, then it's just going to be crazy. Only Jay and Charlotte should go back and forth. Of course, Kevin Owens does whatever Kevin Owens wants because nobody can tell Kevin Owens what to do, and nobody puts him in the corner. Except I did. I put his shirt in the corner right there. Yeah, there should be very, very few exceptions. So yeah, he made a corner out of the ladder because it went.
Yeah. Oh my god.
All right, and I would ask what if there's anything else from SmackDown, but I know there's not. So we're going to move straight on to AEW Dynamite. Or the transporter like Star Trek. I am a big Trekkie fan. I'm a huge nerd for a lot of things: sports, science fiction, you name it, comic books.
We all got to talk more because I'm learning more stuff between the pre-show and now. We're all just the same person.
Oh yeah, no, it's 100%. Yeah.
All right, going on with AEW Dynamite. First up, we will talk about the performance of a lifetime again. Toni Storm coming in as Mariah May. I will go last talking about from what they said. I heard the internet say it was, so I'm going to believe that. And I saw them standing next to each other. So either Mariah May has a twin sister we never knew about, or it was Toni Storm. So I will actually go last on this because I have to do something special for something I've said before. So Sped, I will let you go over not only the match but the performance and kind of the face-to-face afterwards.
I gotta go over the match. Damn it.
You don't have to give play-by-play to the match. Just did you like the match, and then
what did you think? I thought all this was awesome. Okay, I thought all this was awesome. I thought how easy that is. I thought she deserves an Oscar or whatever. The Emmys, whatever. Give her one. All right, because this right here was better than anything I've ever seen at Comic-Con. All right, I'm telling you. And then the guy behind, I can't get over that picture. She's got her finger in her mouth and Sting. Yeah, he's just like, yeah. I love it. All right, it was great. Great picture. All right, but no,
the only thing that would have made that better if that guy was playing like the Joker Sting and he had like the Joker face in the back.
Yeah,
that would have made it.
That would have been amazing. But yeah, no. I found this right here was like, yeah, yes, yes. There you go.
Michael, what do you think of the segment?
I think the segment was great. I do want to say one thing about the match before we do. Queen Aminata, much like we were talking about B-Fab, keep watching her. She's getting so good. And that hard-ass kick she does when they're trapped between the ropes there, that needs to happen every single match because it just looks so devastating every time she does it. The segment was awesome. I mean, Toni Storm is just a national treasure. The only thing I've seen anybody complain about this at all has been the color of the extensions, which I think that's kind of the point. You're making it campy and silly. Yeah. I even thought like a canon way to think about it in your head is, remember, she thinks everything's black and white.
Yep.
So it's not like she knew what the colors were anyway, if you go with that idea of it. But it was so good. But much like Stampede said, it made me think of like the going back to she used to cosplay as Toni Storm all the time. Now you've got her cosplaying as Mariah May. Made perfect sense.
Oh yeah, that was great.
And before I get into my my thoughts, I will do. Yes, you're 100% right, Herb. It is hilarious, and then to take a line, and I can't remember. I apologize, I can't remember the line word for word, but essentially it's like running miles and never getting anywhere. Something that got brought up on your show on Tuesday. I don't remember the exact line, so I know you wrote it down. If you can put that in there. About running for miles and miles and never moving an inch or never getting anywhere. It's kind of like that. And if I'd have known this was going to happen, I would have written that line down, and I should have. But
you
very much like that.
Greens, I don't know. But
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. But okay. So I thought this segment was some of the best character work in all of not only women's wrestling, but wrestling in general. Over the past, I couldn't tell you how many years. And here's where I'm glad Stampede's in here because him and I actually got into a discussion, and I put it on Twitter right after the reveal of Timeless Toni Storm a couple weeks ago. I said it missed the mark for me. And I'm here to tell you right now on January or February 6th, I was wrong. I can say that wholeheartedly after watching that segment last night. They did it right. I'm glad they did that so they can do this in the buildup. It adds to the buildup of the match. Her, like you said, coming a full 180, playing Mariah May after Mariah May played Toni Storm there. It shows all of that. It builds that story. So again, I'm not someone who is scared to say I was wrong. And so I apologize to anybody who called me out. And I was like, no, it just doesn't hit it for me. This is why you let the story play out. I was completely wrong. It's perfect. I'm back on the train of this match being in this feud being one of the best feuds in all of wrestling over the past 2 years. You can have the bloodline. You can have all that. This has been one of the best storylines in all of wrestling over the past couple of years.
No,
and that just solidified it even more last night. I can actually say last night now instead of Monday night because this was actually last night. So thank you, Stampede, for calling me out and not necessarily calling me out, but telling me I was, that it really does to keep watching the story. I did not do that, and I appreciate you guys keeping me straight. All right, moving on. Oh, and so hold on. Here we go. You run too long in one spot. That's exactly what it feels like trying to keep. I
go in a circle. Okay,
most people would say. So there's another one like it's trying to like herding cats kind of thing. So that's a good one too that I know is there. I've seen Mike be wrong like 3 times ever. To be fair, you've only known me like a year or two, so that tracks because I'm wrong a lot. Next up, Ricochet and Swerve one-on-one match. Ricochet comes out with the win pretty decisively, as a matter of fact. I only got to see highlights of the match because I was doing some other stuff. Michael, what did you think about the match and kind of the fallout from that?
I think it was a great coming out party for this character for Ricochet.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's been kind of the butt of everything. For him to come out there, jump Swerve, get the upper hand, and like you said, pretty handily beat him. And then they were pushing so hard what this robe meant.
Mm-hmm.
And for him to then snatch it on the way out too, of like, okay, you guys love this so much, and this is something that Nana had built up. It's coming home with me.
Yep.
Yeah, and somebody made the comment, and I apologize, I can't remember who it was, but who the robe belonged to also had said something about Ricochet previously or something like that. So it's got even more deeper meaning to it.
Yeah.
Sped, what'd you think?
Well, here's my noble moments. Ricochet hitting the steel chair right before the match. Swerve doing a power. What the hell? Swerve hitting the power bomb on the barricade.
On the barricade? Oh yeah, that part I did see because, like I said, I was kind of watching halfway because I had other stuff going on, but I did see that part. Oh my god!
But then he catapulted
Kevin Owens on the ladder. But oh goodness!
Well, then he catapulted Ricochet's throat into an exposed steel connector from the bottom turnbuckle. Swerve hit a house call into a Swerve stomp for a shocking near fall, that one was nice, right? The fans and everything were getting behind that one. But then Ricochet hit a springboard 450, splashed in a shooting star for a near fall. This match to me got an A+, right? You were right, Michael. Throughout, he came out, the whole build up to Ricochet now is amazing, right? This dude straight up said, "This is my jacket, my robe, my bad. This is my robe. Do something." Nadia couldn't even do anything. And I like what they're doing with this guy right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of one of those things too. Not necessarily as much as I said about Toni Storm, because obviously I don't think this is one of the better stories in wrestling. When they started him having the geek promos and stuff like that, kind of where he was doing the ha and all that, I mean, it didn't hit with me. I'm glad to see it, and this is different because I don't think it was more just the character. I think he is evolving it. So I think it's a little different than the Toni Storm thing too. I think it just wasn't me getting it. I think he's gotten better as the character has gone along. So I don't think it's the exact same situation, but it's growing on me. I'm liking it more and more. I'm liking the more violent, kind of sadistic side that he's putting to it that wasn't there in the beginning. How far it goes, I don't know where it goes past Swerve or who he goes after next, but I'm definitely I hope they have another match for sure. Hopefully Swerve gets his lick back or gets another match later on down the line. and gets to earn the road back. I mean, hopefully.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Next up, you had the Hurt Syndicate come out celebrating their tag team championships, looking very dapper.
My boys
When
are
all of a
back.
sudden they kind of put out an open challenge, that was answered by the Guns. Sped, what'd you think?
Listen, did you guys hear that chant? We hurt people. We hurt. Did you see MVP's face when that went down? Listen, I love the Guns, man. These guys, I've been telling you, I can't wait to see Jay White and them get back together. But you know, I like how Lashley and Benjamin stole their frustration with the interruption. You know, I thought that was actually pretty cool. But with these two coming back and getting put right in, this is going to build up the Hurt Syndicate to look good. This is a great challenge for those two. All right. These two are proven tag team champions. These two have been proven to do well in the ring all the time. You know, not all the time, but they're great in that ring. And then, you know, as well as I do, I've been advocating about these two being tag team champions for a while, just like Private Party. You know, I would love to see, you know, Austin and Colton do their thing again, you know. But, you know, for me, I'm glad to see the Guns return. For these two versus Lashley and Benjamin, I'm going to have fun watching that match.
Kind of same thing you, Mike. What are you looking forward to on the match? And the match is next week, if I'm not mistaken. I think it actually is billed for next Dynamite.
Yeah.
What do you think? How do you think the match will go? And do you think at some point, since MVP's there, do you think at some point we get Billy Gunn to rejoin the Gun Club and kind of bring that back, especially since the way the Acclaimed is going?
You know, I hadn't thought of that, but I think that's a great thing if we're going to make this a rivalry. I mean, it's obvious that this match is going to be fodder for the Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great match. That's the great thing about AEW. Like, if you ever watch our show, we tend to have more good to say about WWE than we do AEW. However, AEW is great wrestling.
Oh yeah,
so it'll be a great match.
Yes.
But they are here to
there's
make
more
the
coming
Hurt
on that
Syndicate
later.
look good.
Yeah. No. Yes.
So it's going to be a good match. If it turns into a rivalry, I could see that. Like you just saying that puts it in my brain of like they're getting beat down at the end of the match. Billy comes out to save his boys, and we put them back together. Because what's he going to do now that the Scissor Crew is not a thing anymore?
Well, I also think this is just a little side quest for the Guns until Jay White's done with the Death Riders. You know, eventually we're going to get the Bullet Club gold back, right?
Yeah, and that's kind of where I was going with it. I agree with Stampede. I don't want to see them all together again as a long-term thing, but for this feud with MVP being there, maybe he's there to offset MVP since there is that third person at some point.
Yes.
It makes sense for this story, and then they can even say like, look, we appreciate you helping us out here. We've done everything else without you when you left. We can do the rest of it without you. We don't need a third person anymore. We're going to go off on our own, and then kind of catapult them from there.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I think for this feud with MVP being there, especially because MVP and Gunn are about the same age, it's kind of the same thing there. I think it would make sense for this feud only. But I definitely don't want to see them back together as a whole. I think definitely the Guns can
they can hold it on,
on their own.
Yep.
Exactly.
And I would love to see the Bullet Club Gold get back together. Give me back Juice Robinson. Give me back Juice. Okay?
He's hurt.
I know. I want Cardboard back. Give me Cardboard Juice back then. Okay?
So before we move on to NXT real quick, anything else, Michael, that caught your eye from AEW? Or obviously if it's going to be part of your 3 count, don't put it in there because we want to leave that for there.
Yeah, I'm going to leave the one thing that stood out for me for my segment.
Okay. Sped, anything else that caught your eye that you want to say before we go to NXT?
I probably the same thing I want to talk about, but I want to wait to hear what he says with his stuff. I don't want
to. We'll
we'll
skip over to NXT and then we'll wait for. And for those who don't know, Michael at Kicking at It 2 is with us this week. They have a segment that is called the 3 count, as you can see, is coming up after NXT, where they talk about 3 things that they've seen over the week that they want to go over. There you go. Billy Gunn's actually a lot.
Holy crap!
I thought they were closer than that.
Wow, I thought they were a lot closer.
Hey guys,
than that.
I hate to do this. I need to back away for just a moment. So
yeah, you're good. We'll go over to NXT. All right.
NXT.
So next week on NXT, EC's dream match or nightmare match. I don't know how you want to look at it, but Cora Jade versus Bailey.
He said, of course I'm going for Cora Jade. What do you think? You know, I was like, yep, I figured.
So obviously EC thinks Cora is gonna, and he's gonna be cheering for Cora. Who are you going for?
I agree with him. He's there every week, man. He knows what's going on, and I agree with him. I think Cora wins it. Bailey is that wrestler that can put anyone over and still be main event material later on. Okay. And it's because of what she's done throughout her career. You know, me and EC talked about this plenty of times where, yeah, I would have loved to seen Bailey get the Sasha Banks treatment or the Becky Lynch treatment or even Charlotte Flair treatment. Because let's not get it twisted. She held it down during the COVID era, you know, but like, I get it. I get why she's putting these women over because they're the future. And, you know, she's slowly but surely, you know, thinking about the next life, you know, her life after WWE. This is stuff I've talked with Esteban about. And he thinks that, yeah, she's got 4 or 5 more years left in her. Yes. But is it consistent 4 or 5 years? We don't know yet. You know, it's injuries are piling up for her now. She's starting to feel it at age wise, you know?
Yeah, and I think so. The only thing that I in my head as I'm going over how I think it will be booked by WWE, the only thing I don't like about it is I think it's only going to further the Roxanne storyline. I think Roxanne's going to come in and cost Bailey, so they can continue that storyline. But I kind of agree with Stampede there. This is kind of what Cora needs. She needs to work with some of the higher talent.
Yes.
So she can improve her, and not that she's not good, but she can take it to another level. Being in with some of the more experienced and better people in the ring who can match her style and kind of show her the ropes of how to go week to week on a match.
She's also going to learn a lot in TNA when she goes down that way as well.
Yes, and I think that's where the Masha comes in for Masha Slamovich, TNA champion. Her going over there, I think that's gonna do a lot for her. She's one of the poster children for what Triple H talked about the TNA partnership. Is she's one of those people who needs more reps, especially coming off a couple of injuries back to back. That the TNA thing, letting her go getting extra matches along with still being in NXT every now and then is going to catapult her in the future to being what people thought she was going to be when she first came into WWE was to be a future main eventer, and then the injuries happen and everything else. So I think she is one of the poster children for the TNA partnership that Triple H talked about getting reps for their people.
Yes.
Also up next up, speaking of the TNA relationship, the return of Fandango, maybe? Not really. So came out, JDC and TNA came out to a fairly big pop to the Fandango music. Made the surprise on Lexus King, who I guess we have just abandoned. Not really abandoned. They kind of made sense, but have turned heel again. Who is now embracing his dad being the loose cannon and going back to the heelish ways. JDC comes in and represents the system from TNA to get the Heritage Cup title match next week. I don't think they're going to let him come in and win the title. But I think it's going to be a really good match. Again, one of those things where not that I necessarily think Lexus King needs it as much because he's gotten reps in other companies. But it's a good match to put him on the map for NXT or somebody a face that people from NXT past will know. What do you think? What do you think about the match next week?
Oh, I love the fact Fandango is back. Yeah. I had to show my wife who he was. She was like, "Who is this? And why do you did this song, you know, dun dun, and the dance and everything." And when he came out, I was doing, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I don't know. It just happens." Okay, but she's getting used to it. She kept calling him Jock last night. It was hilarious. Or not last night, 2 nights ago. God bless it. She was like, "Is his name Jock?" That's why I kept saying Jock. She kept calling him Jock. Shit was hilarious. But no, I think I don't know why they turned him heel. I get what you said. It's just He was having fun
because
wasn't he?
nobody believed him as a face.
Nobody believes him right
The face
now.
character was going nowhere. I said it last week or the week before. I was already tired of looking at it. I was tired of seeing it on the screen. It just didn't. It didn't make sense. He can't pull that off. He needs to be this character.
You said that from like the second week he was doing this.
Yeah, this needs to be his character. He needs to take every opportunity to win. He needs to lean into it. This whole I'm not going to cheat thing got so tired.
I feel that. Yeah, that did get boring as fuck. You're like, dude, shut up and just kick him in the nards already. All right.
Yes, do something. Yes, I mean.
I do.
To be fair, the more Sped talks every week, our viewership goes up by like 10 times every time Sped talks.
That's not true. That's not true. We go down. People take the mic and they take the cute, dirty dango.
And so here's the thing.
Dirty dango, I love it.
Here's why I think it's going to be a good thing is no matter what he did in TNA, yes, you're going to bring some of that over.
Yeah.
But Fandango is a huge crowd favorite name.
Yes.
In NXT, you heard it when the pop. If you watched, I know you watched a ton of stuff, but everybody who watched NXT heard that pop when Dango's music hit. You just talked about
heard
Sped.
me.
Yeah, they spent. I was doing the dance, and my wife was looking at me like, "What the hell are you doing?"
I was doing it too. I was like, "Yeah." I had my 2-year-old doing it. I was like, "Yeah, go."
It popped me. So to have him come in and then have Lexus King beat him, whether he cheats, whatever, it's only going to further the character. That is probably the most that Lexus King will get out of this is it's going to give him more heat going forward.
Yeah,
to anybody else he faces because Dango's a crowd favorite in NXT.
Yeah, no, I freaking love fun. I had to explain to my wife that he's a punk rock fan and he's a ballroom dancer at the same time. And she was like, "Wait, how does that work?" It's like it didn't, but it did. You know?
It worked in the crowd.
Oh, it worked in the crowd. Oh, that's what I said. When I say it didn't, but it did. Yeah, that's like Daniel Bryan getting over when he wasn't supposed to, you know? The yes movement worked, but did it really? Yes, it really worked. Yes.
Look, and if I get to see Prince Pretty at some point, I'm all for that.
Oh, yes.
Bring back Prince Pretty.
He verified he's a writer for them, so
he is.
Yeah,
he's been working for him for a while. They just verified it.
He just now said it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I am. Oh, this one right here.
Finish. Oh, sorry.
You're good.
That's
you're
my
good.
fault.
You're good.
I put it up too early and Sped saw a squirrel. So Michael will let you go first on this one. Next week, it is the NXT North American Championship. Tony D, Ridge Holland, rematch in a steel cage. Who do you think you have winning this one, Michael?
As much as I hate it, I think Ridge is going to get it.
Thank you.
Tony D has got some personal issues going on in his group. And I think he's going to get distracted by that and end up losing this match.
Yep. The man that took out Chase U deserves that North American title. All right. He deserves it.
Your hatred of Chase U really needs to be studied.
What are you talking about? I hate anything that has
all because of that.
Yeah.
All because of that.
Sorry, I know that's not what we're talking about, but dude just gets fired out of nowhere.
It's true.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was
weird. Which I hate that because I like Duke Hudson. He was probably one of my favorites. Him and Thea Hill were my favorite things out of Chase U.
That Twitter promo was fire, though.
Yeah, 100%. I'm hopefully we'll see him somewhere else very soon. So I'm guessing you think Rich Holland's going to win, Sped, since you kind of.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, you already know.
Crazy
when he put freaking Andre Chase in that ambulance, I was the only one in there going yes. Actually, I saw Esteban cheering. So, EC, I watched you. You wanted the death of Chase U as much as I did.
See, look at that. You said that people stop talking when you stop watching when you're talking. Sped is very entertaining.
Sped is like, what?
Very
Who said that?
Lady Alpha said that.
Oh, Ghost.
See? Oh, well, okay. Maybe you're talking about something else. Sorry.
I'm messing around. No, I'm messing around.
Anyway. So in Stampede, kind of your comment on Daniel Bryan.
It was very organic. I was just messing around with that one.
Yeah, and they would be stupid not to try to recreate it.
You're right.
Because obviously it worked. And if you find something that works, why not try to recreate it? But I agree. I don't know that they have ever gotten to that point. Obviously, we talked about Jey Uso earlier. I think it's a little different with Jey Uso than it was there because I don't think Jey Uso was ever that underdog. You know, we talked about.
I was going to say
he's been a champion in tag team. He's been I don't know that he ever had that underdog kind of feel that Daniel Bryan did. So I don't think it's the same thing.
I think Kofi was close.
Kofi Mania, yeah. I mean, it was close, and that
I
kind
hope
of
he
had
comes
sort
out
of a
and talks
feel
about
because it
that.
only happened because of an injury. So, if you believe what they say, so yeah, kind of.
Yeah, because of Mustafa Ali, that man.
Olg Bolton. So if you like Rich Holland, go check out Sped. Go check out Olg Bolton from
I'm about
New
to do
Japan
that
Pro
as soon as we
Wrestling.
done with this.
That's true. It is hard to
Oh
manufacture
no,
organic.
yeah, you can't now.
They say they can every time I go to the grocery store, though, so they're trying. He is, but to be fair, the show is awesome, Mike. And I'm not
Mike Sped, babe. Yeah.
okay.
Hey, you guys remember Mike and Mike in the morning? You know, like I know this is getting off talking, but Mike, we can do that. Mike Sped, you know, in the morning. I'm playing not in the morning, but still.
We have loved having Michael here. We are not stealing him away from Tori. He will go back to his show and Kicking at It 2 next week.
Yeah, I don't need Tori hunt me down, man.
I don't want Tori mad at me. Michael will go back home. Mommy said he could spend the night to this week, but he's got to get home and eat dinner next week. We can't keep having him here.
Damn.
All right. Last up, you did see the tag team match leading into the triple threat. Obafemi and Trick Williams, that guy, loses to Grayson Waller and Austin Theory with the beatdown with Eddie Thorpe afterwards. Obviously, we've got the triple threat match with Oba and A-Town Down Under coming up at Vengeance Day. Obviously, and we're obviously also leading up to Eddie Thorpe and Trick Williams. So just kind of overall, what do you think of the segment, Michael, and how do you think everything went down?
It's good that A-Town Down Under got to win because they're going to look like chumps when they get beat by Obafemi. So at least they got to win. I don't get Eddie Thorpe, man. I just don't. I don't care about his character. I don't. I'm just ready for this to be over. Like let's get to where Trick gets the feel good win and move on.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you, Lady Alpha. We really appreciate that. That's probably the best thing I've ever seen.
Hey, thank
that
you.
Is very
I'll take it.
Asked.
I will take it. Okay.
So okay. Now I'm going to give you homework. Throughout the show, I need you to give me and Michael, who Kicking at It 2, who we most remind you of in wrestling, and don't be afraid to take shots because we're not going to get our feelings hurt.
Hey, listen.
We've got our Mark Briscoe. Who am I and who is Michael Kicking at It 2?
I'll take it.
Let us know in the comments as you go, and we'll put them up as you put them up there. But please don't go like New Japan or Stardom because I won't know who that is and I'll look even more dumb. So
Mr. Miyagi. I'm playing now. I'm messing around. I'm messing around.
I can't wait for Vengeance Day. I'm ready for Oba to beat down these two guys. I'm hoping Trick Williams beats down Eddie Thorpe because I'm with you, Michael. I don't get this.
I don't get it either.
I'm not a fan of Eddie Thorpe. I don't like his character. I don't like anything he's doing. He doesn't have it for me. I maybe that's me. I don't get it. So hopefully Trick goes through him, and I guess we get maybe at Stand and Deliver Trick and Oba too, where Oba finally beats Trick and makes him leave NXT. Maybe we get the A-Town Down Under breakup with them fighting over each other against Oba. Maybe Oba facilitates that to get some different storylines into it, just because we all know Oba's going to win.
Mm-hmm.
And if he doesn't, I will never watch NXT again. We did this with Tony D'Angelo, and I swear to God, you look at me right here. I'm going to do this. I'll put you guys right back on. You look at me right now, NXT. If you let those two jackasses beat Obafemi and take his title, I will never watch NXT again. All right, now we're back to our regular scheduled program. That's really all from NXT. It's we're building up to Vengeance Day, but that is everything from NXT, I believe. Nope, one more time, just like they did on the show. Right as you think you're going off there, we have this new group in NXT. We've kind of seen online who everybody kind of knows it's going to be. So I will ask a different question. Since we kind of know who the four is, what do you think the name of the faction is going to be? And who do you think they go after first? And
Michael, I'll start with you. I haven't the foggiest as far as like the name.
A name. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know.
As far as their first feud, I mean, I'm just trying to think of the field there. They could go against the family, and that could like anticipate a breakup there because we know that there's the feuding going on there.
Yep.
Or the Catch Crew.
I was gonna say no quarter catch crew.
Okay.
Yeah. I was
That's
thinking
really your
no
only thing
quarter.
because you don't have a lot of factions in NXT.
Nope.
I mean, the Metaphors kind of going, and there was really only 2 guys in there.
Yep.
You broke up Chase U like we talked about earlier.
Thank you.
But they kind of teased that coming back. I don't think it was this NXT. I think it was the one before that. They kind of teased like they did the previous time of they broke up. Is like one student's like, but it can still be a thing.
I will
Then why
slap
get rid
that
of Duke
student.
Hudson?
I will slap that student. I will go to Orlando
get
and
them back
slap
together.
that student. Now, yeah, why would you fire Hudson anyway if you're going to do that?
Yeah.
Well, I gotta say, so I love Andrew Chase. I think he's a great talent. I think he's got a mind. I think he's decent in the ring. But if you're going to fire any male from that group,
Andre Chase,
why?
He was the bottom of the totem pole of that group as far as.
Oh yeah.
No, I think it was the third guy that I can never remember his name. That's to me that was the bottom.
Riley.
Riley, yes.
Riley? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Riley, yes.
But
he at least he came in and had that look where he could do some really cool stuff. Not that Andre Chase didn't do some good stuff in the ring. He was memorable to me because some of that stuff that he did.
Yeah.
So I would still put Andre Chase under him, just because of all that. And
Once he started spelling out his last name like he didn't know how to spell it while kicking people, I was like, this guy, no.
We could have a whole show about how much you hated them. So we will. So
that's a whole other episode.
Yeah, it's really hard when you don't have a lot of factions, especially 4 people factions.
Oh yeah.
I mean, technically you've got a couple, but usually they have a female, like the family or the No Quarter Catch Crew. Yeah, I don't see any females in this unless I haven't seen any females teased in this.
No.
So really, you're kind of stuck. If they want to bring them in as faces, they couldn't go after the family or anybody else, really. I mean, you can have them go after Gallus maybe, but that's still only a 3-man group. Or if they want to go after the whole Wesley and the 2 guys he's been with, I can't remember their names, but I don't know. I like the fact that they're trying to build new people, but
who do you talking about bringing the Radicals back?
No. Wesley's been with a couple of guys from NXT.
Oh, okay, I was like, hold on.
He's been kind of mentoring.
I don't watch NXT enough where I don't know.
I can't.
I watch it every week. I can't remember the name, so that tells you how impactful they have been. And I watch it every week, but I just can't remember their names.
I watch it to find Esteban. That's my game. Yeah,
that's true. But we will move on to Michael's 3 count, kicking at it to the 3 count. You see the logo there. This will be Michael's time. I will let him lead the way and kind of guide us with what he's going on. So continue on, Michael, with your number 1 of your 3 count.
Thank you. Just real quick, the 3 count, we basically came up with this idea because the other podcasts that are kind of in this family of podcasts that we kind of working with the Lowdown, working with the Run-In, the Lowdown goes detailed step by step what happened in the show. You guys got to give highlights and have some fun with it. And so I think having another
you can say we're better. It's okay
of what happened. I don't want people to come to us and go, oh, well, they're just saying the same thing they are. So we decided that we would do a 3 count between the 2 of us, which each 3 of us pick 3 things in wrestling in general of the top things that we think happened in that week. The first one I got to say is Jey Uso. I know we talked a little bit about him, and so I'm not going to go too far deeper into that. But yeah, just him coming out there. It took, if I remember right, the last count was 14 minutes from the start of the show for him to say 1 word because the crowd was just so into it. And yes, I understand, like, he's coming from the outside into the entryway and down and all that, so that's a lot of that time too. But him being able to restart his music because they're just like, let's do it again, let's do it again, let's do it again. The crowd wanted to vibe with him longer. Wonderful moment. Great for him. There was a video here recently that showed after he won the Royal Rumble, he came back there and Jimmy was back there, was one of the first people, and Jacob was one of the first people to meet him back there, breaking kayfabe and just give him a hug. Good job, man. So awesome that happened. My number 2 is from AEW. It's Dustin Rhodes confronting MJF on Dynamite. Good Lord, Dustin can talk. And
we talked about the Jey Uso segment being relatable. That the Dustin Rhodes promo Yeah, salt of the earth, every man.
And I do have to
definitely.
fight against what I'm sure one of our cohorts, John, is going to say, because John talks a lot about the fact of AEW bringing up WWE names. I don't think this one was egregious. There's a point in there where he's like, you spent all this time trying to get out of your daddy's shadow, and now you're trying to get out of your brother's shadow. I don't think there was anything wrong with that. It comes back to like the whole tribalism thing. It's not saying one's better than the other. It's saying we're not going to insult your intelligence. There are other companies out there. You know, his brother's out there and is the head of that company right now. So this is a good dig against Dustin of now he's
100%.
the famous Rhodes. You're just here with that belt. Like it made perfect sense.
Yep.
But
100%.
that, and then the segment itself, it, bringing in more of the Cowboy and him having a little bit of a face off, and then Cowboy running off, trying to find Max Caster, which I can't wait till he catches him and whoops his ass. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
That's gonna be funny. Yeah.
But just a great segment overall. MJF is always great on the mic, but just to hear Rhodes be able to just lay out what he has to say was a wonderful touch. And the last thing I had, the last of the 3 count, is it's not even a wrestling thing. It's a podcast. Undertaker's podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a TikToker named Justin Nunley who was a guest on his podcast. And I think he was just there to bring up the shit that Undertaker can't bring up himself. Because then it's just kind of, bad stuff that he can't talk about. So one of the first things he brings up, he goes, so Hogan came back. And you could just see on Taker's face, like, oh, shit, here it goes. I'm going to have to talk about this.
Oh, God.
And it was like, what kind of pop was that? And he was like, it was an ego pop. That's what it was. And he just kind of talked about what we all have talked about probably on all our podcast of like, why did Taker get a pop and Hogan got booed out of the building? And it's because things come back to bite you.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't agree with some of the stuff that Taker does as far as his politics are concerned, but he's also not just been a trash human being. So I would still cheer him when he's out there. But when you got Hogan, who even just recently on a podcast was talking about the hate that he would get, and he's like, you hate it. And I've done all this Make-A-Wish stuff and all this. I did it for the money. And I'm like, you're even just showing you're more of a trash human being now. Yeah. You're like, yeah, I also saw those wish kids because I wanted the money.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
There's some characters you shouldn't lean into, and that's one of them.
Yeah. Your Hollywood persona should go away.
Absolutely. But yeah, that was my 3 count.
Awesome. Thank you very much, sir. And we did have a couple comments during there. So the whole promote, I see this from Stampede. It is more of a WWE thing, not wanting to mention the competition, because they even do it now. We've talked about it a couple times over the last few weeks. Them saying, "Well, they've done this and this and this from here," but not mentioning. They kind of did it with Cody Rhodes, saying he went off somewhere and did his own thing to vaguely mention it. But that's definitely more. Other independents in AEW and in Ring of Honor and even TNA before, they weren't afraid to bring up the name. But again, too, you have to look at what you've kind of mentioned. If you're WWE taking those shots publicly, it looks more like you're bullying, I guess.
Yeah, you're
punching down at other people. It's okay to punch up if you're an indie taking a shot at WWE. Not at AEW's an indie. I'm not saying that because AEW is the number 2 company in this country. And possibly in the world. And I know New Japan's got a stake to that as well. TNA as well. But there is something to say about not punching down. Is from for lack of a better term. Which actually, and we'll do this one comment, and then we'll get into our Twitter topic of the week, which kind of leads into what we were just talking about. So apparently, I am Tony Schiavone.
Nice.
And Michael is Alex Pulaski. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know who Alex Pulaski is. Do you know who that is, Michael? Do you know who you are?
I'm gonna look him up after this podcast.
There you go. Yeah, get to learn something new. Learn something else. Obviously, know Tony Schiavone. Yeah, I'm not sure if I like the Tony Schiavone, but hey, look, I told him to take shots if he wanted to. Whoever he thought, honestly, I'll take that.
Tony was great, except for those
I know he talks a lot. I know he talks a lot, so I get that. I talk a lot. Let's see. Stampede kind of gives his 3, the Dustin promo. the El Desperado that he talked about earlier,
Mhm.
and then the Stardom World title being defended there by Kamitani. Thank you very much, Stampede. So we're going to get into the Twitter post of the week. He's on the Fightful show with Kate. There you go. So now you have a chance to look him up.
All right.
And again, I want us to have this discussion. You can tell in the comments, but I don't want this to lead to tribalism, even though I know the question can. And I got it from a Twitter poll from some friends of mine on obviously Twitter. They're called the DWE. They have a group. They have a show. I will also promote their show. It'll be in the slide. They do spaces for watch-alongs and other shows. They are a great group of people. We will have them on the show at some point. Although this will be the last guest we have probably until Mania, just so we can kind of get back on our stuff. But I definitely want to have them on. And they put a poll up earlier, and I wanted to talk about it to make a specific point. Between AEW and WWE, which show is better, in your opinion? And I'll let you guys kind of answer, and then I'll kind of go into my answer and why I wanted to bring it up. But in your opinion, obviously, all of us like both shows. We've talked about that, so it's not like we're going to take shots at one or the other. Which one do you like better, though, Sped?
I would. All right, so I like the wrestling aspect. We talked about that. I love that about AEW. I just don't like the inconsistency. That's my problem. We've talked about Warlow being one, Powerhouse Hobbs, Ricky Starks, the list goes on from there. For a long time, for me, it was Private Party, but I give the edge to WWE because, they do put on, they give you five, you're either going to get something good or you're going to get something mediocre or something so bad that we're going to be talking about it the next 3 days on Twitter, and that's just WWE to this point. AEW, don't get it twisted. They're on the rise. They're coming back up. People got to realize that Collision may be doing doo-doo numbers and everything, but Dynamite staying around 600,000, and it's only going to get better. Like me and you, Big Mike, we talk about it all the time. The Death Riders angle, how that's progressed. And it stepped back a little bit. Then they got us back into it again. And you just talked about how can they get you back into the Tony Storm, or was it the Tony Storm one? Yeah. You were just talking about that one, and they got you back into it. So it's like the inconsistency is what makes me not want to say AEW over WWE. But at the same time, WWE has this inconsistency. We're just used to it, because we've been doing it for 40 years. It's
a good point. They both have inconsistency, so it's hard to put one over the other. Michael, what are your thoughts?
Stampede, you and me need to talk more because you took the
Stampede's
words right out of my mouth.
I'm going to say something very similar. That's why I didn't put his comment up, because my comments are going to be very similar to that.
That dude's so knowledgeable.
It's apples and oranges.
Yes,
Sped, you focused on like what AEW can get better with, and that's like the inconsistency of the stories and all that stuff. They could get better with that. But even if we're talking between the two shows,
yes, please.
We say on my podcast all the time that wrestling is a buffet.
Yes,
and if you don't like the prime rib, you don't have to talk shit about the mac and cheese. Just go have the prime rib and leave the mac and cheese alone.
Thank you.
The problem is WWE is a buffet in itself. They have a little bit of everything. They have the hot wrestlers. They have the high flying stuff. They have the stories. They kind of put it all in one thing, where AEW focuses on the wrestling.
And I love it.
We're talking specifically about the TV shows. WWE gets the edge for me. And that's because in their show, it's a little of everything. I get to watch a little bit of everything I love about wrestling.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. God, I can't believe I'm sweating.
And to bring it up, that's exactly what Stampede said. It is an apples to oranges comparison. And this is, I even made the point in one of the comments there. And I will start by saying, yes, WWE does slightly go ahead of AEW for me, because I do like more of the entertainment side of it. I love wrestling, which is why I love AEW too, which is why we talk about it every week or most weeks. But I thought about this, and that was the first thing that came to mind. And I'm kind of using this as the final word as well. So we won't have a very long final word, because this is kind of my final word before we do the matchmaker. I know it's kind of combining. if you watch AEW thinking you're going to get what you have with WWE, you're going to be disappointed in AEW.
Very disappointed.
If you watch WWE thinking you're going to get what you're going to see in AEW, you're going to be very disappointed in WWE. And I think that's what people don't necessarily understand. You can't, I don't go drink a Pepsi and expect what I get from Coke.
Yep.
Because if I do, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Or you're in
I go to drink a Pepsi because I want to see what a Pepsi tastes like. And I may not like that Pepsi, and that's completely fine. But if you go in expecting something else from something completely different, you're going to be disappointed every time. So I will say anybody who has on this fence and on this line, take a minute. The next time you want to watch one of the other shows, do everything you can to clear your palate, to clear your mind of what you saw on the opposite show, whether it's AEW or WWE. Watch it with as fresh of eyes as possible and see if you don't enjoy it just a little bit more.
Yeah, no, he's right.
That's kind of the point of me bringing that up.
Yeah.
And questions like this, while yes, I realize it does bring on some tribalism, can create conversations like we're having right now.
Yep.
Yes.
Both companies have things they need to work on. Both companies do things really well.
Very well.
But if you go in expecting one thing from the other, you're going to be disappointed no matter which way you're going across the fence. And that's really the whole point of the conversation.
It's like going to Disney and expecting being at Universal Studios.
Yes, or expecting Six Flags or something. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Use a million analogies. Yeah. It's like walking into a basketball court and expecting a baseball game.
Yeah, stupid.
It's just not the same thing.
People watch baseball
just
still?
not.
I love baseball.
I think so. But again, that's the whole reason I wanted to bring it up. And thank you, Stampede, for your opinion as well. I figured it would kind of be the same because I've heard you talk about it slightly from others. And Michael, I've said that you and I think a lot alike on a lot of this stuff. So I didn't have any question that either one of you guys would have similar answers. But I wanted to make sure we brought it up because I thought it was a really good point. And thank you to the Island of DWE, Miami the Great, Final Boss Baby, all those guys at DWE. Go check out their spaces Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. I think they do, or Fridays. I think they want to do one for NXT too. They're always on spaces on X. Go follow any of them. You can see all their names there. If you're not following them already, go follow them for great content. Miami and Final Boss Baby are actually doing a podcast as well. And shame on me, I had it in my head to mention the actual podcast, but I think it's Talk It Up. And I'll post it on X later. So if you follow me on X at _BigMike27, I'll shout out their podcast. They haven't done a full episode yet. There's a couple of shorts on there already, but definitely go check them out. Great people, great wrestling content. Definitely go check them out. All right, next up, we will go to our Twitter. That's what we just did.
That's where
the run-in matchmaker. So obviously it's February. Everybody knows it is Black History Month. So we are going to focus on that for our matchmaker for the rest of the month. One, because we obviously want to focus out a group that may not get focused out in wrestling as much. But two, one of the things we want to do here at the run-in is teach other people. Hopefully we bring up some names that you've never seen before, some history that you've never heard about that you'll be able to go chance to look at. That will be some of the ones further. Right now, we're going to do some of the current ones, a little bit of history of Booker T and Ron Simmons. But this is our first run-in matchmaker for Black History Month. You've got Ron Simmons. You've got Mark Henry. Did I say Ron? Yeah, I did say Ron Simmons, right? Did I say Mark Simmons? Okay, I thought I mixed them together. Booker T and Bobby Lashley. Sped, you're the one to put together, so you've had the most time to think about this. So I'll let you go first. How do you think this match plays out?
Well, all right. So how this match plays out is Bobby Lashley winning. All right. This starts off though. Henry starts off dominant, tossing everybody over. Boom, boom, boom. Booker uses agility and experience to keep pace, fast and away from the bigger guys and stuff like that. Simmons and Lashley go to war in a battle of heavy hitters. I would love to see that anyway. The spine busters between those two men would probably put a person through the mat. All right. Booker T tries to roll up Lashley, but he kicks out. All right. And then Mark Henry hits the world's strongest slam on Simmons. But before he could pin him, Lashley spins Henry out of nowhere, then throws him out. Okay. Throws Henry out of the ring. Booker T goes to do the leg scissors. He comes out of the way, spears him, and then does the Dominator, and that's it. That's how he wins.
So you've got Bobby Lashley winning?
Oh, I got Bobby Lashley winning. I got the ex-military man winning this one, yes.
Not shocking coming from a former veteran.
Yeah.
Michael, how do you think this match plays out?
For the
It's
fact
hard.
that you have the Ron Simmons picture, not a Farouk picture.
Oh, listen, I had to go with
that
the
to me-
Ron Simmons. I had to go with the first ever WCW World Heavyweight Champion.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So the fact that you did that, I have Ron Simmons coming out on this.
Oh, nice. Okay, I like that.
I think the Farouk knocked him down a couple of pegs.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I'm to think about it, obviously Ron does the strength thing against Mark Henry, lays him out. Usually when Mark Henry was taken out by a stronger guy that was able to actually slam him, it always took a longer time to get up. Booker T's a non-factor. He's a great wrestler. I'm just saying in this match, especially if you got King Booker, if that's what we're going with here.
Well, I just did that because if you look at his stuff, that was the only really real run that you can look up besides the Gold Dust and what he did over there on Raw. When he became King Booker, he said if he doesn't hit the spinneroonie, he's gonna be pissed. But King Booker.
Before you go, shout out to Big Nick. He is part of a podcast, Wrestling for Life. They do a lot of watch-alongs as well on YouTube. So shout out to Big Nick. Appreciate you coming in, brother.
Yeah, he's a big follower on my stuff. I see his name pop up all the time on my Twitter.
100%.
I do think that to go off Big Nick's point there, I do think he would hit the spinneroonie after he hits the axe kick on Bobby Lashley, taking him out of it. But as soon as he gets up from that spinneroonie, Ron Simmons spine buster, Ron Simmons power slam, ball game.
Over Vader, epic moment. Yeah, very.
Go ahead.
I had to tell my wife because when I was doing all this stuff, my wife was like, "Who's Mark Henry? Who's Ron Simmons?" I know Booker T from NXT. I didn't think he was a wrestler. I was like, what? Come on. How long we've been married for? He's great.
That's one of the things I love about these things is it brings up older names that hopefully you guys in the audience right now, there's 89 of you watching. So hopefully if you don't know who any of these people are, we've just named them, go look them up.
Oh, yeah.
Go look up their matches. Go look at their catalog. I mean, you see Stampede. He remembers watching Ron Simmons win the world championship over Vader. I mean, talk about memories, man. That's huge.
Spinneroonie. Oh, my God. That would be awesome.
I'm not going to try to say that a bunch. If I was Tony Schiavone, I probably could because he can talk very well. But I'm not going to try.
Well, look, can we honestly say this though? The Hall of Pain idea though was probably one of the better ideas in the mid 2000s for Mark Henry when he was doing his thing. Like the sexual chocolate. He had that. He had the World's Strongest Man gimmick coming out of the Olympics and whatnot. And he was a legit power lifter, right? He was one of the legit ones. So I mean, the Hall of Pain gimmick though, when he was WWE World Heavyweight Champion at the time, man, that was beautiful. People were like, "Oof, yep." What is it? Never trust the man and sell him his suit again.
Styles after the fact.
Oh my God.
Maybe it's just pastels in order because it wasn't salmon. It was a pastel color.
When Mark came out with that World's Strongest Man gimmick, why did they have to do him dirty and make him look like Rerun from What's Happening?
Oh damn!
Big puffy coat. He had the weird sideways hat. It's like
he did.
What are you doing?
He also went through the whole thing where he had a baby with Mae Young, and it was a hand.
He didn't have a baby. He had a hand.
It was a hand. It was a hand. Sorry, he had a hand.
Which I know this is off topic, but I wish to God his son Jacob Henry just signed not too long ago.
Yeah.
If they don't bring him in as Jacob Hand,
oh my God,
they're missing the biggest opportunity. His in-ring name needs to be Jacob Hand.
God damn.
Most 99% of the people won't get it, but all of us from the Attitude Era will pop the hell out of Jacob Hand if that's his name coming in.
We would send that kid to the moon, straight to the moon.
Yes, it was a very different Vader. Especially his New Japan. I've seen a lot of the matches from there. Holy hell!
I've seen some of the previews of what Dark Side of the Ring is going to talk about this next season, and one of them is Vader, and I'm hoping they show like the downfall of what happened there because he was such a beast in WCW, and then WWE just lost himself.
Yeah, pretty much. So I guess I will be quick and say I think Bobby Lashley takes it. I mean, he's got the strength, he's got the speed, he's got the cerebral part. I think he puts it all together against all three of them because you've got all three of the other guys who are obviously powerhouses. Booker T not as much, but he's still powerful. He's probably the faster of the other three, just as far as speed's concerned. Although Ron is no slouch himself, but I think Bobby Lashley is the one that puts it all together and can bring a little bit of everything. So I think he stands the better chance of going up against any of the three to where, if Booker T's up against Simmons or Henry, he could use his speed or they could use their strength or he could use either one. So I think just being a more complete overall in-ring wrestler, I think Bobby Lashley wins. If it's a promo, I think Booker T wins, obviously.
Oh yeah.
So I will say that.
Yeah.
Followed closely by Ron Simmons. He could win it with one word just because it's hilarious. And the fact he got over one word, and I'll show you, Jay, so I get over one word too. That is our matchmaker. Again, we are going to focus on African American performers all February. Hopefully you learned some stuff from us and from them. Go back and watch their catalog. Show these great wrestlers.
Go watch the Booker T documentary if you want to learn more about Booker T and his life and how he went from being in trouble to a 6-time world heavyweight champion. That's the one documentary I would recommend people watching. That is a great documentary.
So, and I will spoil it. Shelton Benjamin will be in one of these.
Oh no, he's coming up
this week. He will. Yeah,
he's coming up.
Shout out. He's always been one of my favorite wrestlers.
He's coming up.
The color or anything. I've always loved Shelton Benjamin. So yes, he will be on one this month.
No, he's coming up. Man. His college years are what I love too. OVW.
I will say this for Big Nick's. Fuck that guy. I don't curse a lot on this show, but I will full out say fuck that guy for that one. I try not to do it a whole lot on the show, but
he's been on our list for a while.
I've seen it. He's been on your shit list for a while as well.
That's right.
Yeah, no, screw that.
And as we talked about, this is normally where the final war with Big Mike. I kind of used all that up when we were talking about the different shows and things like that. So I will just spend the time first off letting you guys. First off, Michael, where can everybody find you? And my final word will be to prop you guys up. So. Michael, where are you?
I appreciate it. So you can find me and my auditory tag team partner, Tori, over at Kicking Out at 2 on everything except for X. It's at Kicking Out 2 at PC. Screw that guy that took that from us. But you can catch us on Twitch. You can catch us on YouTube. We've actually just changed our times. We used to do 7:30 to whenever. We've actually moved to 9 to try to compensate for the fact of some of our friends that do podcasts. So that way we can try to pass each other in the night rather than trying to fight for an audience. So we actually
to somebody who tries to run over and watch your show after ours, I appreciate that.
No problem. Yeah. So we do 9 to whenever now, just to kind of try to
just let me know how much to send
which means going forward, Sped. I'm going to need you not to talk as much so we can get out of here in an hour.
Okay, fine. Just let me know what you're
so we can go watch Michael and Tori at Kicking Out at 2.
Just send me your stuff so I can raid you after every show.
We'll do. Again, at Kicking Out at 2 on everything.
Okay, got you.
Also, you can catch us over on TikTok for as long as that's a thing. We do some short.
Rocky Johnson will.
Like I mentioned it earlier in the podcast, like one of our fun ones to do is we do Pro Wrestling for Dummies, where we teach people pro wrestling terms and where they came from. And we also do one called Who Betta, where we do a little game of picking 5 people at random, and Tori has to then tell me how they rank without knowing who they are. At the end there. Dom did end up as number 1 one time, and that was a complete accident.
That's what I'm talking about, because he is number 1.
Yeah, come over, have some fun with us. We always have a lot more fun when there's people chatting with us at the same time. It makes it a lot more fun to do.
Damn.
All right, Sped. I know we usually talk about where everybody can find you. Obviously, they can find you here at the Run-In. Where else can people find you on social media?
Anywhere that says Spedrock on it, honestly. SP3DROCK. If you see a 4 at the end, that's probably me too. But real quick, can I ask you guys something? Nobody was talking about this. Will Ospreay versus Mark Davis real fast. Okay? That was terrible. I thought I gave it a D. Like, I just did not. I was like, what is Don Callis doing? Okay? Seriously, it
I
started off.
didn't
Oh,
need
okay,
to
good.
focus on the match, so
It
I'll
says-
stay out of this one.
It
I
says
think,
Don. Yeah,
I think
go
it
ahead.
was
Go ahead.
I think it was I think it's one of those things where they're trying to do a story, and I give them credit for that, but I don't think we know what it is yet.
Well, no.
So obviously they're trying to do something. I will say though, the match itself was pretty good. That pile driver he did at the end,
Yes.
like I
have
thought he
that.
killed Osprey.
I have that in my
was
notes right here.
hurting.
Yes. It's just
Right.
like, man, it's just weird. First ever D I've ever given freaking Osprey in anything. I was like, oh my god, am I going to hell? Yeah. But maybe I need to go find a Catholic church. You
Would have
know,
been 12 stars in the dome though. So.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Okay. There you go. And it insults the audience. I feel that.
And there's Stampede's take on it.
Mark has a ton of history.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. There we go.
So-
Thank you. Thank you.
There you go. A little bit of the backstory there. Maybe
Okay,
that'll.
I was like,
Fill
what
in
the
some
hell is this?
It's like watching the movie without reading the book. We just
Exactly.
And,
God
and-
damn it.
and anybody in the audience who doesn't get that reference, be sure to tune in on Sped's SB3 DROCK Twitch. We do behind the scenes at 7:30. We were talking about books and movies earlier and the differences between the two. So just a little Easter egg for that, a little callback for our pre 8 o'clock pre behind the scenes show. So good callback. Good job. But for Michael, for Sped, I am Big Mike. You can find me at @_ Big Mike 27, pretty much on all platforms. And again, I will finish by saying thank you. Thank you, you guys, Sped and Mike, for joining us, or Mike for joining me and Sped, but Sped always joining me every week, letting us do this show that we have. And for all you guys in the comments, Nick, Stampede, Lady Alpha, Jonathan at the beginning, Herb, anybody that commented, anybody that's watched us, we really appreciate it. Can't do this without you. Hopefully we will continue to help you enjoy wrestling. Because again, that's what we're here for. No matter which one you like, no matter who you like, we're going to try to give you as much as we can of everything. And we have Stampede for everybody else. So as long as Stampede keeps watching and throwing in there, we'll have a little bit of other stuff like New Japan and all that too. Because I'm going to try, man. I'm going to try to watch some other stuff. But for Mike, for Sped, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Go enjoy some wrestling this week. And have a good night, everybody.
All hail Emperor Mike.
Yes.